Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, TV shows, and music. Damn it, I said it wrong again, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
You know what she meant. You've been here long enough.
I hate doing the intro wrong. Guys, I've been working a lot. So, things happen. But we talk about. Fuck it. I don't know what we talk
I don't know. It's a tangent podcast. Like we'll say we talk about, then we talk about eight different things on your way. You'll catch up.
No, we talk about TV shows, music, and movies, alright? And other interesting topics. See, I got it. They're probably like, what?
Hmm.
This is so unfair. Whatever.
Unprofessional. Can they get it
Unprofessional.
together?
We're recording on Skype, so it's gonna be a little bit weird. So this podcast is actually gonna be about, is he a rap artist? I don't know. We're just gonna call him a rapper. Name Lecrae.
I, I
And
call him I call him a rapper, definitely.
alright. Michael's co-signing. This is about Lecrae and his new album called All Things Work Together. So, I gave this album a solid B. Only because I had issues with a lot of some of these in-between tracks. That were like, I was like, what's happening? And, so first of all, I thought he had a lot of good lyrics on most of his tracks. The only thing that bothers me is that I can't tell what his flow is. Like, he sounds like a lot of other rappers, and I can't tell what his voice is, you know? And I'll even like eventually get to some of the songs where I'm like, oh, he sounds like this person. So I couldn't narrow down like what he's trying to go for. I felt he was trying different things, but I couldn't tell whether it was actually his, you know, what's the right word? I guess touch, or someone else's touch that he was influenced by. If that makes sense. But overall, I thought he had a lot of good songs. For an album that's 14, it felt complete. You got a lot of it. It's just that sometimes I felt the auto tune was overdone, and sometimes I felt like he sounded too much like other rappers. So it lowered the grade for me. What about you? What did you give this, Michael?
I give this album just a solid B. I mean, my thing was the other tune, but my problem wasn't about him sounding like other people because I feel like he had like a decent range of music style that he tried to hit. And granted, it was done by other people, but I feel like he also has just done it well, or in a lot of cases better. Especially considering what the hip hop is kind of saturated with right now. Because one, it's kind of unique that he's coming from more of like a Christian rapping kind of background. It's kind of like I'm not sure if I call him a Christian rapper, but I'm kind of calling him a Christian rapper because he tried to make sure you knew that he was conscious about that. And it was like, okay, you're not like another Jigaboo Jones on a track, but
Jigaboo Jones.
it was cool. It was cool. I definitely like this
Jigaboo
album.
Jones. Jigaboo Jones. That's an interesting term. Okay, we're gonna ignore it because I don't really know what the hell that actually means. But no, like when I say he sounds like other rappers, I mean like, okay, Jay Z tries to rap like other rappers, but I could tell it's a Jay Z song. If I heard some of these songs on the radio, I wouldn't be able to tell it's like someone, it's his. Like I don't mind you like, a good example is Cardi B, like Bodak Yellow. She borrowed a little bit of Kodak Black's flow on some of his older songs, but you can tell it's her. Like you could tell that she put her own spin on it, even though she was trying to like a little bit mimic someone else's flow a little bit. Him, sometimes I didn't know what he was trying to go for, and that was what turned me off a little bit by some of the songs. But it still sounded great. It's just that I wish that he was consistent on like how he presents a track. Like if you heard a Nas track, even when he's trying to like be a little more like mainstream, you can say, "Oh, that's still Nas's flow." I don't know what his flow is basically from this. He wasn't consistent, and that's a turn off for me. But he, I don't know if this is his first full album or this is supposed to be his breakout. But his career is just starting, so he'll get like his touch. Cause I think all rappers should have something that says, okay, this is his song. Even the wackest rapper in the world, you can tell, oh, okay, this is him. That's my thing. That's my only issue with him. And I'll explain it eventually on some of these when I start talking about it. So my number three
Before
is,
you go on, I just want to say one thing about what you just said. When I was checking him out on Spotify, apparently this guy's been rapping since '06. Because
yeah, I
I've
get
only
that.
heard of him, I've only heard of him last year with one of his hits Sidelines, and I was like, oh, this guy sounds kind of cool, and he has a new album. Sure, why not? Let's make a podcast about it. But yeah, I was just saying, maybe he just got blown up maybe since like last year, maybe 2015, the earliest. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there before someone says, no, he's been rapping for a while. He's actually been rapping for like almost 10 years. Yada yada. Okay, we know,
Yeah, but
we're
yeah,
just getting exposed out here, guys. Give us a break.
yeah, but like all rappers are like that. Like Eminem rapped for like years before he broke out. That's
Hmm.
how it works. You rap underground for years, and then you have one breakout hit, and that's when people start knowing your name. I get that. I figure he's been rapping for at least like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he's been in for since '06, definitely like 11 years now.
How old is nigga? Anyway, moving on. Moving on. All right. So, what is my number 10?
Yeah,
Number
number
10.
10.
Sorry. Number 3. Yo, really like it's about that time. Actually, I'm gonna give it to the first song. Always Knew.
Okay, before you even go any further, that's also my number 3. But go ahead.
Okay, fine. We might have to say number 3. Who knows? Um, Good lyrics. Very. It had auto tune, but it was very tasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the song was basically about, hey, I can't believe we actually made it. Didn't know we get this far. And I love songs like that. Your come up story, basically. And I really, he even did this like sing rap thing. And like no offense to Drake, I sometimes hate it. I think only one of the few rappers that I always thought did it right was Nelly. I could never complain about Nelly doing that. But I've complained about almost every rapper doing it, and he's not one of them. I thought he sounded really amazing. And this was when I like, okay, maybe this is his style. And then he kind of switched it up on me on the next song, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I thought that this was a very good intro.
Right.
Like, if you didn't know what you're gonna get, you listen to this and you're like, shit, man, this is a very good intro. So definitely, always knew it was my number 3. Since it's your number 3, why is it your number 3?
I mean, I guess I gotta keep it short now because you pretty much hit everything that I was gonna say. But the auto tune, yes, it was tasteful, but it didn't until like I went through it maybe like a second time. Cause I to this we're doing this podcast a little bit late, and I went through it twice just to make sure I was caught up. After I went through the second time, it didn't bother me at all. To the point where I didn't even notice it. Not even to the point where it even bothered me in the first place. But like it was so tasteful that it's like everyone's saying autotune is kind of what rap is like, backpedaling on right now. Nah, he did fine. Besides, his bars are so strong enough that you'd be okay with it. Like his flow is punchy and fast at the same time, like which is which I'm starting to realize is my favorite kind of flow now. It's like something that hits you hard, but it also keeps it moving. Like it doesn't like bank on like you making noises with your like, ugh. I'm sorry, Rick Ross, but like yeah, like I'm not even saying like he does that to the point where it's
Shade.
annoying. I'm not even saying like he does it to the point where it's annoying because like it's definitely one of my favorite albums this year that we covered. But
I'm a biggest boss thus far. Sorry.
it's all the other guys, like all the other ones who like got to put in the yeah between everything or mm, Shanique knows what I'm talking about here, but you don't got to
Ah, Kodak.
you don't got to throw that in between every bar to make to extend the lifespan of that song.
That's
But yeah,
not
that's
why
kind of
he
rough.
did that. Stop hating on the song, all right?
It don't regardless of what his reason was, it didn't sound good. Moving on, number two.
That's why it's a hit, though.
Moving
Anyway,
number two.
number 2, I put as Facts.
Okay, second song.
Yeah, like right after. And again, he sounded different. So I was like, okay, I don't know. Like, I was like, all right, you switched up your flow on me again, but it's fine. And I actually wrote, I think it's one of his best songs lyrically on this album. And it was like he went from like, oh, I can't believe we made it, and then he kind of got a little bit conscientious when he was like, it am I really woke or a new slave, and I kind of love that he was talking about actual topics that flip that
Hmm.
actually impact the black community because we need rappers who talk about that. Now, I admit I don't always want to hear that shit, but I do respect any rapper who does it, especially if you can draw a person in and not feel like you're preaching to me. I definitely enjoyed the song. It showed that he had actual real lyrical talent because sometimes you don't even see that. And another lyric he had was "Peace don't come without truth," and I love that
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
And there's nothing bad about this album. I gave it a solid 10, but it's number two. I have one that I liked a little bit better. What's your number two?
Before I even get to that, like I also have no problem with the album, but like the only reason I can't really give it higher than the B is because these days I'm kind of like not. I'm kind of lenient when I give like A's to albums that they don't really do anything specific to that rapper. Like you're just doing what's already been done, just really good, which is really good by you. Don't get me wrong, that's fine. But like unless it's something that it wasn't like it kind of comes out of left field for me. Is like where I get to number 10. Like okay, no one can do that because it's only something that Lecrae can do, or something that only Kodak could do, or something like that. But yeah, my number two, I'll give it to "I'll Find You."
I'll
Now,
find you. Oh, that's
I
towards the end, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, with Tori
yeah,
Kelly.
right. I'm not too exposed about who Tori Kelly is, but I feel like if there was gonna be like a radio hit, that they can probably bank on this one, because it had like Tori Kelly, no idea who she is, but she definitely added something to the song. It's a good feature. I love when like singing and rapping come together as one and work great. Throw back to like I'm not saying the song sound like it, but throw up to like the old Ja Rule days when he did the same thing, and like what, he found a
Your
good formula.
hips, your
Yeah,
thigh.
yeah, like he found a good formula for it, and I feel like the formula is also is has some elements in this song as well. And I was like, what, that's cool. Um, I got no problem with that, and that's kind of why I felt with the song. Like, Tori Kelly, no idea who you are, but it's a good first impression. Might have to check you out.
Yeah, Tori Kelly is probably one of the best singers we have for like young people at least. She's
Hmm.
really good. Um, she went from like a YouTube star to already like actually like being on real albums. So good shit. T- I'll Find You is not in my top three, but I am gonna talk about it. Good lyrics. Another good lyrics. It's a little bit depressing, but it was very catchy in a sense that like it kept my attention even though it was more slower pace of the album.
Hmm.
And again, Tori Kelly, amazing singing. I'm not even surprised that this worked because I remember when I saw her on a BT Awards singing a tribute to Michael Jackson, and she sounded amazing. So I'm not even surprised that she could work on a hip hop album at all. Um, so my
Don't
number
pick my
one.
number. Do not pick my number one, Sinead. I kind of want this one for myself, but go ahead.
What do you think my number one is then?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I know I'm
Come and
guessing.
Get Me is my number one.
Ah, okay, good, 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 good. That's a good one too.
So I picked that because, and here's another thing. I guess what really he sounded like Andre 3000. So that's what's like also another thing. Like you sound like another rapper I really love, and the beat reminded me of like an old Outkast song from like
Hmm.
the so fresh and so clean days. It reminded me
Right.
of like something they would have used back then. So the beat caught my attention. It was such a switch from Hammer Time, which was right before it, because I wasn't feeling Hammer Time. If that's your number one, I'm really sorry.
No, it's not.
Um, he sounded amazing. His flow was on point. I have no complaints about the lyrics and everything. I think it's the best beat on the entire album because it's like an old classic, like Motown type beat mixed with hip hop, and he utilized it correctly. The worst thing for me for any rapper can do is have an amazing beat and just throw it away. Freshman Cypher.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
that's a good example of
Let,
throwing away
let
a
me
good
throw it
beat.
away by going acapella. That too.
Leave Triple X alone and his demons. Alright, let him pray to his demons. I don't know what the hell that whole track was. He looks so fucking weird now. Anyway, that's tangent. That's tangent. Alright, no, Michael's number one. I bet I know what it is.
Try.
Uh, hmm. Is it 828?
Ah, good try, but no.
Damn it. All right. What's your number one?
Mine mine is actually left field, and I tried to preface this by talking earlier about what I like about giving an A to a rapper or even any artist for any genre is like I like when a song has like your identity on it, and you can kind of tell. I kind of tell from my last pick for my number two with Tori Kelly, I'll find you. Even though it was like one of the slower paced songs on the album, it was definitely one of them things where it's like slow paced hip hop with females features isn't a new thing. But I feel like this is kind of one of his defining factors as far as like his flow, his music style, his lyrical content, and that's kind of why I kind of went to Blessings for my number one because I feel like one you kind of figure out the flavor of this guy. One, he's not ashamed of like saying, "Yo, like I'm not one of the ones to just say thank you God for what I got," but like I'm actually like full on Christian. Like this guy's like, "Yo, God first," and on several tracks that he's not even ashamed to like let you know about this. 'Cause a lot of tracks on a lot of albums they end up having like the one track that tells you like you're grateful about this and like you give credit to this guy or whatever. But like on multiple of them, I feel like he did it, but I feel like this is the one where like it hit me the most, where it's like this guy is his niche, his sort of like natural habitat for what he tries to rhyme with. So I was completely cool with this song, and I actually came back multiple times to this song specifically for that. Definitely like a slower pace, but like his flow and the lyrical
Whoa.
content.
Are you sure you got the title right? Because Blessings isn't slow.
Blessings, yeah.
With Ty Dolla Sign?
Oh wait, no, you're right, 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 right.
I was
Yeah,
about
not
to
on the.
say, you picked the wrong title.
Yep, sorry, wrong top. Let's see here.
Rewind. That's not his number one.
No, no, no. I mean blessings. I mean bless. I'm probably banking on it for before. I'm probably for the chorus where it's like a little slower pace. But like Todd Dollar Sign, I probably should have talk about that one. I like the song for Lecrae. Not really that tight. I'm not saying he did anything wrong either, to be honest. But I'm like he was in the middle of like making this identity for me, and then Ty Dolla Sign wasn't there at the same time. I'm like, okay, well that kind of sucks. Don't get me wrong, it is blessings. I'm probably banking on everything that isn't Ty Dolla Sign and isn't in the chorus because that's kind of what I'm saying is slower pace, but not I'm talking about strictly Lecrae here.
Okay.
But
I'll
yeah,
be
that's where I'm.
honest with you about your number one. I hate that song. So
Oh, that sucks.
I don't like Ty Dolla Sign. I don't like him in the song. I don't like this song. I don't really give a shit about this song, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it was coming after Broke, and I was really into Broke, and then this song came on, and it just threw me off. It had like too much auto tune going on, and I love the message of the song. Don't get me wrong, I'm pro the message of the song. I just do not like how it's produced or arranged at all. But to each their own. I think this is the first time I really hated your number one. But first time for everything, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Alright,
Whoa,
well, that's our top three. Let us know if you agree with us. And then we could talk about Broke, which to me is one of like a hidden gem in this album. If it doesn't I don't even know if he had singles. Not even up on that. But
broke, like broke.
I like the build up. Um, it sounds like trap, but it actually has meaning. I don't know what to call it, like conscientious
Beanbro
trap.
made me rich.
Yeah, that's like the chorus, I think it is, or the hook. Yeah,
That's the chorus. That's from the chorus.
it is the
I,
chorus.
I remember the song. Yeah,
Yeah, but it actually he talks about something, not just like getting money. It was about like it's another come up song basically. Talks about his come up, and I'm a sucker for those type of songs. When you tell your story and how you got where you got. And so I particularly loved his lyricism on this. I loved how it was produced, and I love the beat on it. What about you? What do you think of Broke?
broke was cool because I definitely like the part I just said a while ago was catchy. That stuck in my head real good. I definitely liked it. Um, I agree with you when you say that you like when rappers are they outwardly show how grateful they are from about their come up. I'm glad he's not one of the ones like who just says it the one time and then just starts doing ratchet shit. Because I hope I see more of this guy, to be honest, yo. Like I'm interested in him. 'Cause, like I only got exposed to him last year with his song called Sidelines, and that song was dope. And that's the first song I even got from him until this album happened. But yeah, the Broke was dope, catchy, loved it, good message. Can't argue
Okay.
with that.
Next song, What You Mean? Featuring, I
Ah,
guess,
what you mean?
Aha Gazelle, I think it's his name. Again, I really liked the song, but the auto tune was pointless. It didn't even make the song better, and if you took it out, the song wouldn't even lose anything. I like the feature more than Lecrae on this song, oddly enough, because I thought the feature had a better verse than he did, if that makes sense. It was catchy, and I could tell it's a commercial song. Like this song will play on the radio probably more than a couple of some of these other ones. But what are you? What do you think of What You Mean?
The auto tune is not what I had a problem with, but I did have a problem with I don't know if it was Lecrae or Gazelle that did this, but like he just started rapping in like a really high tone, and I had a hard time figuring out where he was going with that. Cause like I know like he did that on top of having auto tune with it, and I was like, why did you need both at the same time? But yeah, you know what? I actually did end up liking the song too. I do agree that we can probably end up hearing it on the radio sometime soon. Definitely some radio hit flavors in this one. Yeah, I have no problem with this one to be honest. Other than like that high pitch rapping that one of them did. Can't pinpoint who it was, but one of them did it.
Yeah. Next song, Hammer Time, featuring 1K Blue. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know who the hell this is, but I don't like this song. It's kind of catchy. But if I never heard it again, I'm very much okay with it. That's really all I have for this song. I don't particularly like it at all. But what about you? Do you like Hammer Time?
The
Oh,
songs that came
actually, hold on. No, wrong song. Wrong song. Good.
1K Few is a Hammer Time.
Okay, yeah, Hammer Time. Yeah.
Um, it's not that I didn't like this song because it did kind of it did kind of backpedal off of the quality that came before it. But I feel like every album does that at some point. I feel like what was the song number four? I believe it was. Not sure where it landed, but wherever it was, it's like I had enough good quality before that unless like I get like several mediocre songs after, that's the only way it's gonna bother me on this album. This is kind of I don't know who 1K Few is. Not uh, the best first impression for me. So I'll just let this one sit by the on the side for real. Like it's just kind of in the way for real. Like I wanted more flavors of what I had earlier in the album, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. It's not in this song. I feel like this is where the album sort of like uh is a little interesting with the kind of experimentation we're trying to do with at one point because it's doing fine at one point, then this happens and it sounded like regular hip hop that you might find on someone else's album. This is where I'll say he kind of sound like somebody else.
I pinpoint a lot of songs where he sound like someone else, but um. Oh, and I forgot to mention on my number one, he had a lyric where he says the cops treated me like I wasn't made in the image of God, and I particularly love that lyric. It
Yeah,
actually stuck out, so I was like, you know what, I gotta write that shit down. If
yeah,
you can get me to write a lyric down, then you did some good shit on this. Next one is Lucked Up featuring Nija.
yeah. That's what I call it.
I don't particularly like her voice. Whoever this person is, I don't like their voice. It annoys the shit out of me. No offense to this person. I didn't particularly like this song at all. It was one of those like I'm trying to be soft, so I'ma sing a love song like LL Cool J type records, and I was like, you don't do it right. He sounded like when Kodak Black tried to sing a love song. That's what he sounded like to me on this record. And take it how you want. That could be an insult or a compliment, depending on if you like that song I was talking about. That's how I feel.
That's
But
fair.
it had a good beat. It had a really good beat.
Just
One
want
thing
to
I
talk about
say,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
one thing I say, this album, well produced. Good shit, man.
I didn't mind not just singing, but I did mind the fact that I feel like they put a auto tune on her voice when it didn't need. I feel like her voice probably would have sounded a lot better with it out, with it off. I feel like what
Yeah,
was it like 1 in a million, 1 in a million, something something, and I was like, she sounded good around that area, except like I knew I want. It's like it's weird. It's like I wanted to like it, but like I knew that this is the one part of the song that I feel like as far as being produced well, they kind of fell short on. But everything else is also not one of the standouts for me. But I was interested in the girl though, so if anything, at least I got exposed to one more singer that I wasn't aware of. Because I feel like if I dig around enough, I'll end up liking this chick. But as far as Lecrae, because this is Lecrae's album, not my favorite song of the album. It's kind of on the same level as the last song, Hammer Time, before it, so it didn't really stand out to me too much.
yeah. And so this is when we're at the part of the album where I'm like, you're not gonna finish strong. Which I was wrong though. He definitely does finish this album pretty strong.
Hmm.
Um, Next one, "Wish You the Best," featuring Verse Simmons. Is that like Russell Simmons' kid? I don't know. But too much autotune. Good lyrics though. But I didn't like the singing. Like, I don't know if it's Lecrae or Verse. I did not like the singing on this track at all. But I didn't have a problem with what they were saying. I just how it was presented. I could care. I didn't particularly like it. No. What about you? What do you think of this?
I feel like this was an effort to like try and go into the the R&B realm with verses part in the song. Because I agree, this is the one time like before the previous two singers you had a problem with. I didn't have a problem with, but this is where I'm like, nah, this feature is kind of weird for me. And he's definitely like trying to slow the song down, which is already slowed down. The beat is fine. I just feel like what they did with the beat, as far as like what they put on it, with their voice and their lyrics, is like, leaves a little something to be desired.
Yeah. Alright. Next song. "Can't Stop Me Now." Parentheses. Destination.
Hmm.
Ne- I wrote in my notes, no. Just no. I don't like this song either. And that's when I really started getting worried because I like you even less than the song beforehand. There's nothing memorable about this. Like, I honestly think that this album didn't even need this song. That's how much I really don't like it. I don't know whether it was. I can't even say it wasn't Lecrae. It was Lecrae. It was everything about this song. No, just I don't like it at all. I have nothing good to say. So I'm gonna pass it to Michael. What do you think of "Can't Stop Me Now"?
I liked it because it's also one of them niche songs for him. And let him. It's one of them things that let you know that hey, this is kind of what his thing does. Well, I'm sorry, kind of thing that he does, because it's definitely like a Christian centric song. It's definitely a lot about his faith and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. The weird part is lyrically fine. I feel like I could go just take the lyrics of this song and put it on another beat, because I feel like they had like some brasses in the background that were just like a little distracting for me. But other than that, it was fine. But one thing I do want to say though, the chorus also, I feel like the verses were better than the chorus by far. I feel like the chorus was for a different song and the verses were for this song.
Yeah,
Because
okay, I get what you're
I don't know if
saying.
Lecrae was singing the chorus,
Well, there's
but
no
that's
feature, so I'm
yeah,
assuming it was him or he
that's my
sampled.
fear. That's my fear because I'm like, I really hope it wasn't you, because that's the part I don't like about the song really. The beat and the song, yeah, everything individually sounds good, but I feel like together it's all just a conglomeration of shit that shouldn't be together.
The shade.
Listen, I like the guy. I'm not trying to shave him at all, y'all. I like the guy.
No,
Just,
that
this.
was so shady because you were like, I said there was no features. Like, oh god, that means it was him. I hope
Yeah,
not.
I know.
There's no
I
like
want to. It's not shade. It's just me being honest, man. That's
shade.
not
That was
shade.
shade.
Shade is when you know you're getting under somebody's skin. For that purpose. I'm just being like, I like this song, but I like individual elements of it instead of the whole thing together. That's all I
Then
gotta
you
say.
don't like this song because you can't like a song. That's like saying, oh,
Hey, hey,
I like this meal, but like don't put this seasoning on this chicken. Don't put this rice here. and then move this over here, and then it's fine. Like that's not how it works.
No,
Not how it
that's a
works.
lot. That's a lot of micromanaging. You're assuming what I'm talking about is because I like the lyrics.
Uh huh.
I just didn't, and I'm telling you what I like and did not like about the song. I can still enjoy a meal and tell you what parts of the meal I didn't like. You know,
So you don't like the whole meal, you just like part of it.
sure. If you really want to once they dissect everything I'm saying, Shanique, sure, that's what I
I'm
mean.
not
Then
dissecting. I'm just repeating.
sure.
Michael's being shady. Anyway, my wrong guess for Michael's number one is next. 8 hours and 28 minutes. So it's a very emotional song, but I felt the beat was completely wrong for what he was trying to portray. You know what I mean? Like I felt he was trying to portray like one mood, but the beat was too upbeat. Like it wasn't somber enough for the song. And like the best parts of the song for me is when you just really heard him and didn't really hear the background. Like when he turned down the background a little bit and you really heard him rapping, I enjoyed it. And it was most of the song, so that's why I was like, this is a really good track. What about you? What do you think of 8 hours and 20 minutes?
Well, considering that there's no name on the feature list right here for the song, I'd say that his singing in this song is a lot more trouble than in the last one. In the last one, I do agree though that the verses without the music in the background was a lot better than the chorus itself. Unless you want to dissect my meal again, but yeah, I do agree with that.
Hey,
But
yo, I'm not dissecting. I'm repeating.
either ways, moving on. That's kind of where I fall with this song. Like it was a good guess for my number one because I it almost made it if it wasn't for the singing, which, like I said, even though I call it tolerable, it's only more tolerable than in comparison than the other ones. It's still not my favorite as far as the singing goes. But the lyrics, definitely, I'm on board with that. I'm on board. I'm actually on board with the somberness of the song too. But I just liked it better when I can just hear his bars and no background noise.
Yeah,
Acapella rapping is still an art, yo.
yeah. And like that was my main issue. I just felt like the beat did not match the mood of the song, and I was just like, why? Next one, "Cry for You" featuring Taylor Hill. Now, I actually really love this song. This will probably be like one of my honorable mentions, including the last song on the album. Taylor Hill, for me, stole the song. This is how you actually sing on a record. He was really good, and when he hit them high notes, I was like, yo, I would crack. Like, this is not a good like karaoke song, cause I'll have to call in Michael to hit them high notes, cause I'll be Lecrae. You can
Excuse me.
be Taylor.
Excuse me.
You heard me. You Taylor Hill. I'll be Lecrae.
You
I'll be.
lying. You lying to literally the entire internet right now. So don't even.
I'm not. I believe in you. You can hit them high notes. I can't. I'm an alto, not a soprano.
I'll break all the glass within a 10-mile radius if you want to hear me hit that, yo.
Yeah, but the way Taylor sings the song was really good. And then when Lecrae came in, I was looking forward to his verses. And I thought they collaborate. Besides the Tori Kelly collaboration, this was the best collaboration on this entire album, including the last one as well. What about you? What do you think of "Cry for You"?
I first thing I want to say is I also agree with because you already said it. This is what happens when you talk first. But yeah, I actually do agree with you saying that they were together the best next to the Tori Kelly song and in competition with the last song as well. Because that's kind of my favorite thing about the song. Like you had look the crazy verses were not as punchy, but like they were like just the kind of slow, meaningful kind of stuff. They just let it seep in slowly, and then you had like the singing of Taylor going on his own section. Like okay, cool. This is a healthy mix of things happening right here. And yeah, that's really where I'm at with this song. Like I just like the peanut butter and jelly combination right here. It's okay.
All right, cool. And since you're complaining about me going first, why don't you take it? Talk about "Worth It" featuring Kira Sherrod and Jawan Harris. What do you like about it?
One, this is the only song on the album with three people on it, and I feel like it still worked out pretty well. No idea who the other two are.
Me either.
Like, but I feel like they also offered to the song. I feel like the beat was pretty good too, because I feel like if you have like some really bassy headphones, there's some parts in the song that like were really punchy that would like make it because I was listening to this through headphones, and you know me, I gotta like blast the volume to like 1200, and it sounded really good. It's a really punchy song when the bass hits in the very slow parts of the song, oddly enough, and I'm like, oh, this is a weird contrast of things that go together apparently, like maybe opposites attract. And that's kind of where I'm at with this song, with this last song. I'm okay with it being last on this album as well. It's been a while since we hit a song that I liked being last on the album. People do really good with introductions. For whatever reasons, a lot of the times, especially in recent months, we haven't really had, at least in my opinion, a song that was worth its place as last on the album. And I feel like that's probably what nailed it for me, for real. Left me with a good impression.
Yeah. And like another thing is, Worth It is probably the most Christian song on his album. Like it's a really good taste of Christian rap for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the song is basically how God can still love you no matter what mistakes you make. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the message of this song. I thought everyone did their part. I thought everyone together made the song complete whole. I didn't feel like, oh, screw this person. Why are you on this record? I very much enjoyed the features of this song, and I agree with you. It was the perfect way to close it because, like you were saying throughout the entire thing, this shows what he's really about.
Mm-hmm.
And if he would have kept like I said, my main point is that I didn't think his like it wasn't consistent and like what type of rapper he was trying to be. Like I'm not saying like you can't do trap or anything, but like his flow would change too, depending on like which version of rap he was going for. And I would like him to just pick a flow and stick to it. Cause that was like the one thing that I didn't particularly like about it. But this song, Worth It, Cry for You, the last like four songs were very consistent. And if that's the type of artist he's trying to be, I would definitely be okay with it. So I
I agree.
guess what? Go for it.
No, I was gonna say I agree with that too, because I feel like instead of doing the things in other songs like Hammer Time, where you just try to show some range, work with your strengths. Like know what you're good at, which in my opinion is these last four songs, like you mentioned. And I'm like, expand upon that because I'm like, that's kind of one of them things in rap right now that you don't hear a lot of. Like people touted on Kanye way back for being like this whole Christian rapper with Jesus Walks. I'm like, oh God, hip hop and Christianity, that doesn't make any sense. Like I feel like this is a potential resurgence for that, and that'll be pretty good for him if he can like, focus on those strengths.
Yeah, and I also like part of that also meant like his style of rapping, cause in some of his songs like Hammer Time, part of the reason I like it cause he did the stupid, yeah, what, then rap, yeah, he did
Hmm.
that part. I don't like that in any type of rap, no matter what it is, no matter who does it, Jay Z to Kanye to Kodak to Migos, if what you call it, if what they do is rap, sure, none of them niggas. Ugly God, no. I don't like when you just like you can't think of a word, so you just go. I don't like that. It's different if it's like your signature, like DMX, like it's his signature, or like what is Jadakiss? That stupid laugh he does. Yep, exactly. Like that's way different than you just in the middle of your verse going, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like overusing the auto tune on some of this. So some of the records on this album, he sounded like very commercial, and he sounded like every other rapper. And then like on these last four, I felt like I was finally hearing him more. And in our top three, besides I can't give you blessings, but for most of our top three, I felt like it was more of his like style instead of mimicking other people's style. And I want to see more of that from him. And I guess I'm in my closing remarks anyway. But overall, I think Lecrae's a talented rapper. I just want him to focus on being himself because if you think about it, Eminem, no matter what type, whether he uses a hip hop beat, a pop beat, or anything, you can tell it's Eminem. He does not switch up his style. He might rap faster, but he definitely always puts his own flavor on it, and I want him to keep doing that. And if he continues to be consistent, like the last four records, I think He'll probably could be the next, great rapper if he like keeps pushing it. Like I want him to just be more consistent. That was my main issue with this album. Like Kendrick always consistent with his style. J. Cole's always consistent. Kanye, Jay Z, all these rappers are always consistent, and like I don't mind you trying different music out, but I want your flow to be consistent because I want to know, okay, this is the way, the way you rap. Even though I might get shaded for this, but even Iggy Azalea is consistent on her flow, and every song she has, you could tell it's her. You know what I mean? You
Mm.
never think, oh, she's like mimicking someone else. Well, I'm not gonna go there, but you never think that you can tell it's her, a song from her. And I want him to do more of this Christian rap stuff, and do more of his tracks like Facts and Always New and Broke and Come Get Me and the last four tracks. Do more stuff like that, and then if he made a whole album with just those, I would actually give that album an A, cause that's the type of rap that I'm interested in. Even though I love Tunnel Vision.
No comment. No comment.
just just throw salt on the wound.
And there ain't no wound. Trust me. I'm fine.
Just to
Ain't
annoy
nothing I
Michael.
can, ain't,
It,
ain't nothing I can say about that song that it hasn't done to itself, yo. So
hey,
I'm on.
number one. All right. Anyway, what is your closing remark on Lecrae?
Um, I'm glad I went through his album because I kind of got more of a feel for what he sounds like. Because, like I said, I know I'm harping on what I said earlier, but first time I heard from him was Sidelines, and that was just like a regular hip hop song. It's until like I think earlier this year when we saw him at the the BET Awards, where he like got an award for something.
I don't know.
I think it was because that's where like they were doing all the tributes to like Prodigy and all them people's. But yeah, it was he got an award there for like some gospel award, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird because I the song Sidelines didn't sound like gospel. So I feel like now that I've done some digging around, I'm kind of glad I did because I kind of feel like I know what his niche is right now. Um, I do feel like he adds a well needed uniqueness to hip hop more so than I've said about anyone else that we've covered so far on this podcast. Only because not anyone's really like you know in certain religion as hard as he is into his songs, which is a good thing because one, he's not putting it down your throat; he's just making art about it. And one thing I will say about him though, I'm not sure about the range of hip hop that he's trying to cover right now. Because I do agree with Shanique when she says, "Yo, just do what you do well and stick to that." Because right now, if you try to go the trap route or the auto tune route, it's not going to really do you any favors. Because I see you making it a lot farther, pacing yourself and doing what you do with your features on top of that. One thing I will give you, you got some good features on your songs, on the ones that we really, really like anyway. Because I know Ty Dolla Sign, 1K Few, and I know I'm missing some more names here. I know one of them was Simmons. Like, okay, fine, that's a hit or miss depending on the kind of thing you're trying to go for. But I feel like everyone else, especially the singers, Taylor Hill, and the two from the last song, Tori Kelly, everyone there, they all played their part very well, and I feel like they worked really good. And with a song with you on it as well, everything just works in tangent. So yeah, I know it's a mouthful for final remarks, but that's kind of where I'm at with that.
All right, guys, we're gonna close out this podcast. So let us know what you think. Were we too harsh? Too easy? Do you like Lecrae? And if we're the first people introducing you to this artist, let us know. Do you agree with us? You can email us at echoundergroundpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at echoupodcast. You can find us on any, probably multiple podcasting apps and sites at Echo Underground Podcast. We also have a Facebook with the same name as well, and we're on iTunes. So subscribe to us or follow us, and we want to hear from you guys. See ya.
Bye.